Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Montgomery. And for those of you who are in my classroom watching this, well, you're kind of familiar with these kinds of videos. I'm going to sit here, I'm going to, explain these new math words and ideas to you, and we're going to do this together. For those of you who are not in my room, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here with me learning some math. So I hope you enjoy this, and we're just going to kind of jump right into it. So we're going to learn two special words today because we're starting a new unit and we're going into Unit 12. So the words we're going to be practicing using are longest and the word shortest. So the word longest means that it's going to be longer than any other object because we're going to be comparing things. So just like in this number one problem right here, we have three tubes. You have a blue tube, you have a pink tube, and a purple tube. Well, I think they're tubes. They kind of look like rolls of paper, but they're fun colors. So the one that's going to be the longest is the one that sticks out the furthest. Because you see how they all start, where I'm drawing this green line, they all start in like the same spot. But some of them go out further than others. So let me switch up my colors here. Here we go. So they kind of tell us the answer on this one a little bit, but let's kind of go through it. So if we're going to find the one that's the longest, we want the one that's sticking out the most. Is the blue one sticking out the most? Not quite. It kind of stops right there. What about this purple one? Is the purple one the longest? No, it kind of just stops right here where I'm drawing this line. What about this pink one? Is the pink one sticking out more than any other paper tube or roll of paper, whatever you think is more fun? It sure is. It's sticking out longer than or further than the blue tube. It's sticking out further than the purple tube. And it's like if it was going to be in a race, it would be the one that's winning. It would be the first one to cross that finish line. So now we can fill in this dotted line. I know you don't have the paper, but that's okay. We're just kind of doing this together to get used to it. I just drew a line right to the longest one. Now we got to find the shortest. So the shortest one is the item or object, or in this case, a roll of paper that is sticking out the least. So it's the smallest. So which one is the smallest? Is it the blue one? Is the blue one the smallest one? No. And we already used the pink one. So what about this purple one? Is the purple one the smallest? It definitely is. So now we can fill in this dotted line and draw a line from the word shortest to the shortest object. Or we could say that it's the smallest. And let's do this next one together also. Number 2. So they're not giving us the answers on this one. But just like over here, let me get my green again. They all start at the same point. They all start at this green line, right? But we need to find the longest one. Which one is sticking out the furthest or further than any other paintbrush? Let's kind of go through this together. Let's see. Oh, I need to get my fun colors. I want to use red to draw my lines. So, is the blue one sticking out the furthest? No, because you still see a different one sticking out more. What about this purple one right here? It stops right where I'm drawing this red line. Is that the longest one? No, there's still some other ones sticking out further. And what about this green one that stops right about here? Is that one the longest? It definitely is. So I can now draw a line from the word longest to the green paintbrush. It's that one right there. So if I know I'm drawing little lines at the end of every object. If that helps you, go ahead and do that also when we start doing your work that we sent home. Because I'm going to start doing that along with you too. So now we know the longest one. Now we need to find the shortest one. So we have two left. We have a blue paintbrush and a purple one. So for the shortest, we need the smallest paintbrush there, the smallest. So which one is it? Is it this blue one that stops at this red line? Go from this green line to this red one here? I don't know. Let's look at the other one. We have a purple one right here. Is that one the shortest? Or could we say that this purple one is smaller than the blue one? It totally is. So we can now draw a line from the word shortest to this purple paintbrush. So now we figured out which paintbrush is the longest and which one is the shortest. Let's do one or two, just some practice ones that we're going to do together. And then we're going to open up your workbook that we sent home. Okay, so now I have some completely new, fun math problems for us to figure out. All right, so we have some markers, we have pencils, and we still have to figure out which one is the longest and the shortest for both of these. And check this out at the top here. They give us some examples of the longest and shortest. We have worms. You could, if you want to do something fun later and you have some gummy worms at home, you could have your mom or dad cut some up into like different size pieces and figure out which worm is the longest and which one is the shortest. How fun would that be? So up here you see that the yellow one is super long, so it's the longest, and this red one doesn't really go out as far, so it's the shortest because it's super tiny. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before on number 3 and number 4. So we're going to figure out which one is the shortest, which one's the longest, and draw a line from the word to the correct object. So I'm going to get my fun colors back because I really like using this green to show where it's starting. Here's this starting point. Okay, and we're going to compare this green marker, the blue marker, and this pink one. And we need to figure out which one. Oh, you know what? We've been doing longest to shortest. Let's start with the shortest one. Let's see if we can figure out which one is the smallest first. Oh, that sounds so fun. Okay, so I got my fun colors back. I got the green starting point I like to draw there. And we're going to start at the bottom. And with this pink one. And this pink marker stops right at this red line here. Is this one the shortest? I don't think so. Seems pretty long. What about this blue one? Is this blue one the shortest? I don't think so. Let's check the last one first. This green marker stops right about there. Could we say that this one is the shortest? Or you could say the smallest marker out of the 3? Absolutely. It's so tiny. It's the smallest or shortest one there, so we can draw a line straight to that green marker. That one right there. And now that we kind of already looked at where each marker stops, which one do you think is the longest? Go ahead, just point at the screen. Do you think it's going to be this blue marker or this pink marker? Did you pick one yet? Okay, I hope you did, because I'm about to show you the answer. So we did green is the shortest, and the longest one is... it's pink. See how it goes out further than the other two? Okay, now that we've gotten some practice in, I'm going to let you kind of do number 4 on your own. Okay? And I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to do this one on your own, because I know you don't have the paper, but that's okay. So, I labeled each pencil. You have pencil number 1 up top. We have number 2 right here. And number 3 at the bottom. Okay, and just like before, they all start at the same point. Now, I'll draw a little starting point here. And I'll draw where each one stops for you. So number 1 stops right about there. Number 2 stops right about here. And number 3 stops right about there. Okay. Now, which one is the longest? Is it number 1, number 2, or number 3? I'll give you guys just a couple seconds to figure this one out on your own. Which one is the longest? Okay, I hope you have an answer. Okay, let's do a countdown. Ready? And the countdown is going to be for us to see the answer. 3, 2, 1. That one right down here. Pencil number 3 is the longest because it goes out further than the other 2 pencils. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the shortest. Which pencil is the shortest? We only have 2 left. So is it number 1 or pencil number 2? And again, I'm just going to give you guys a couple seconds to think of your answer. Which one is the shortest? Or you could say which one is smaller? Do you have an answer yet? Did you pick one? Are you pointing at the screen? Did you pick a pencil? Okay, let's do a countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Pencil number 2 is the shortest because it's smaller than pencil number 1. Pencil number 1 is like in the middle. It's not the longest and it's not the shortest. Okay, so before we go on, I need you guys to do something very important. I need you to get the math workbook that we sent home. It's going to be a black book with a butterfly on it, and when you open it up, it's probably already at Unit 12. Okay, and I'm actually going to get that same page up on the screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so once you get your math workbook it's all black with like a blue butterfly on it, you're going to open up and you're going to go to this page right here. At the very top right corner, it says Reteaching 12-1. And this is the page that we're working on. We're going to kind of do this one together a little bit, except you're going to do it with me also. So it's going to be a lot more fun. So if you need a couple more seconds, go ahead and, so if you're using a Chromebook or a laptop, hit the spacebar on your keyboard and it'll pause the video. If you're using a iPad or a different kind of tablet or a phone, just go ahead and tap the screen and hit that pause button then. Okay? But we're going to keep going. I'm assuming if you're still watching, then you are ready to go. You have your materials with you. And let's do this. I'm going to read the top off to you. Read it together. You can compare and order objects by how long they are. Line up the objects. Look to see which object is the longest and which is the shortest. Then put the objects in order from longest to shortest. So which one do you think is the longest? They have a comb, a screwdriver, and a glue stick. Which one do you think is the longest? It's the screwdriver. Which one do you think is the shortest? It's that glue stick because it's super, super small. Okay, so now we're going to move on down. Okay, I'm going to read number 1 to you and explain what we have to do. It says complete the sentences. And then it has 3 different lines that someone drew. And what we have to do is, as we read these sentences, we are going to put either the word line A, line B, or line C. We're going to do that for both of these sentences. So let's look at them. So they all start at the same point, and I'll mark that down with this green pen. And then let's see where they all stop. Well, line A stops right about here. Line B stops right about here. And line C stops out there. Okay, so now this first sentence down here says line blank is the longest. Well, which letter should we put in this blank? Is it line A is the longest? Line B? Or line C? So, since we've already practiced this quite a bit, I'm going to give you guys a second and write down your answer right in this blank. Which one is the longest? Is it line A, line B, or line C? All right. If you need a couple more seconds, go ahead and pause the video. But let's kind of go over it. Let's look at each one. So is line A, does that go out the furthest? No, I don't think so. Let's look at the next one. Line B, does that go out the furthest? Nope, that's way back here. What about line C? Does this go out the furthest? It sure does. See how there's nothing else going past line C? So, for this first sentence, we would say line C is the longest. Let's look at the next sentence. Line blank is the shortest. So by shortest, we could also mean the smallest. Which line is the smallest? Is it, and since we already used line C, we can kind of put like a little check mark next to it. So we can't use it again. We already used it. So which one is the shortest? Is it line A or line B? And I'll give you a couple seconds to write down your answer on this space right here. And remember, you don't write these answers down on the screen of your computer. That would be super silly. Make sure you write down your answers on your own paper. Okay. If you need a couple more seconds, go ahead and pause the video again. Otherwise, let's go over it. So we want the smallest one. Is line A the smallest? No, it still goes out pretty far. What about line B? Is that the smallest? It definitely is. So on this space, we would say line B. Okay, so now we're going to go into number 2. And number 2 says, use the clues to color the scarves. The shortest scarf is red. The green scarf is longer than the blue scarf. So we have to put these scarves in order from shortest to longest. So I'm going to help you guys out here before I send you off on your own. So to make sure that we don't forget, the shortest scarf is red. So I'm going to circle the word red in red and the word shortest. Make sure that the shortest one is red. And it says the green scarf is longer than the blue scarf. So I think they're trying to trick us a little bit on this last sentence here. So if the red is the shortest and it says the green is longer than blue, do you think the green one is going to be the longest? I think so. So the green scarf is longer. It's the longest. Okay? And of course, I will also underline the word blue with blue so you don't forget. So I'm going to have you do just one step at a time. Okay? Because they made this sound a little tricky. Let's do the shortest one first because I think that'll be nice and easy. So make sure you have like a crayon or something. If you need a couple seconds to get crayons, go ahead and hit the pause button. And instead of coloring, we don't have to color in the whole scarf. It's okay to just circle the scarf with that color crayon. That's perfect too. Either way, whichever you think is more fun, you can go ahead and do it. You can either color in the scarf or just circle it with that color. So first, you're going to figure out which one's the shortest, and you're going to color it red. Okay, so you're going to look at these 3 scarves. Yeah, how about I number these scarves so we don't get them all mixed up. I'll number this. Ooh. I'll number this scarf number 1. This will be scarf number 2, and this will be scarf number 3. All right. So on your own, either scarf 1, 2, or 3, whichever one is the shortest, color it red. Now I'll give you guys just a couple seconds to color in your answers. And it doesn't have to be perfect coloring. You can just kind of do like fun scribbles or something. Okay. Now we kind of figured out that the longest one is going to be green, right? So the longest scarf, whichever one is the longest out of these 3, go ahead and color it green or just circle it with a green crayon. And I'll give you guys just a couple seconds for that one. Okay, and now the last one is kind of like the middle one. It's in between. It's not the shortest, it's not the longest. Which one is neither? Which one would be in the middle if you're going to put it from shortest to longest? Which one would be, I don't know, either maybe the second longest? And we're going to color that one blue. So if you already colored the shortest red and the longest one green, the last one is going to be blue. And I'm going to get ready to let you know what these answers are. I hope you tried it on your own. If you didn't try it on your own yet, you better pause this video and make sure you give it a shot so you understand it a little bit better. Okay, so the shortest one is red. I'm going to just circle mine. And the shortest one is scarf number 3 down here. That is the shortest. And now I need to figure out the longest one. Because this shortest one didn't go out very far. And the longest one goes out further than any of them. Number 1 doesn't go out very far. But scarf number 2 goes out further than all of them. So I'm going to circle that with a green crayon. Okay. And then the last one is blue. So I'm going to make sure I get my blue ready. And it's the last one. The blue one is just going to be the one we haven't circled yet, because we only have 3 choices. And it's not the longest or the shortest. It's an in-between. So now that we did this page, you're now going to turn your paper over and go into the next page and do that one all on your own. And I'm going to show exactly what that page should look like. Okay, so in your book, if you were to turn the paper over, the other side is going to say practice on it. This side you're going to do completely on your own. I can't give you the answers to this one because this is going to let me and all of our other teachers see if you really understand what we're doing or if you might need just a little bit extra help or something, and then we'll try to figure out how to help you out the best way we can. So at the top it says practice right here. I'll even underline that. Practice. And it's still 12-1. And you're going to do all of them on this page. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 completely on your own, okay? And as soon as that's done, you can go ahead and have mom or dad take a picture of it and send it to your teacher. If teacher's me, I'll get it. If your teacher's Miss Masto, make sure your mom and dad send it to her. Or if it's Miss Tora Blanco, make sure mom and dad send it to her if that's your teacher. Or maybe you have Miss Stillwhite, and you got to make sure mom and dad send her a picture of that too. Okay? So it was great spending some time with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the little instructional math video I made for you. And I can't wait to see your work. All right? I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys later.